You're sitting in an interview trying to answer all the questions correctly, but you can't help but wonder, what is the person on the other side of this Zoom call actually thinking? If that thought's ever crossed your mind, then this video is definitely for you. Before we get into it, my name is Kim. I am a big tech recruiter and career advancement expert. I help professionals land higher paying jobs without all the stress or confusion. So if you are looking to make more money in 2026, please give this channel a follow so that you don't miss any future videos as well. As a recruiter with over a decade of experience, I can say I have sat on my fair share of recruiter phone screens. And I got to tell you, there are some things that have remained consistent over the years. So today, I am pulling back the curtain to tell you, job seekers, what recruiters are actually thinking during your recruiter phone screen. Let's get to it. The first thing that many recruiters are thinking are, is this a good use of my time? Okay. All right. Come for me in the comments. I know you want to. Within the recruiting profession, there are two types of recruiters: in house and agency. If you're in house, you have metrics, time to fill, hiring managers that you need to report to. If you're an agency recruiter, finding the right candidate directly impacts your commission, as well as whether those clients want to come back for repeat business. Recruiting is a profession. Recruiting is a job. Recruiting is a business. So please know that if you are invited for a recruiter phone screen, we've already looked at your resume. We can already tell that you meet the basic qualifications, that we know that you are qualified. But what we want to know is whether you can do the job well for our clients. And if you're not prepared to address that, it's not a good use of either of our time. So remember, both parties have a finite amount of time. So if you show up late or ill prepared to answer questions, or don't treat that conversation like it's actually an interview, it's just not a good use of time for either of us. And you will be far less likely to be sent on to the next step of the process. The second thing that recruiters are asking themselves is, this candidate actually answering the questions that are being asked? Something that I notice, especially during economic downturns, like the job market of 2026, job seekers tend to do a lot of phone interviews. And if you've been doing that for months and months or years, please know that I fully recognize how difficult that is and how emotionally taxing that is for you as a job seeker. Sometimes when people interview a lot, they go on autopilot and they anticipate the questions that are going to be asked. Now, in a lot of ways, that's a good thing, because there's a formula for the recruiter phone screen and for other parts of the interview process as well. However, sometimes people go on autopilot, for lack of a better term, meaning without actually hearing the question that's being asked, people will submit an answer. And more often than not, when that occurs, you're not answering the question that's actually being asked. So then what you're telling an interviewer unintentionally is, I don't know how to follow instructions. I know that it probably doesn't feel good to hear that, but that is the truth. If you are choosing to go to an employer for work, the employer wants to know that you will be able to follow instructions. A few months ago, I was interviewing a candidate who had been out of work for about a year. And as I was asking a question, and truth be told, my style is a little bit more conversational than maybe other recruiters. That being said, I'm asking my question of the candidate. And before I can even finish my sentence, the candidate says, honey, I think I know what you're asking. And then he goes on to answer the question. I allow him to finish. And then I say, Thank you for sharing that. My question was actually this, which was in the same vein as what he thought I was going to ask, but it really wasn't. The third thing that recruiters are asking themselves is, will this candidate make me look good to my hiring manager? I know, I know. We're only human, right? And the long and the short of it is, our hiring managers have asked us to find a specific skill set to fulfill a specific need on their team so that they can solve a specific problem for our employer. My job in all of that is to find the right candidate to execute all of that. That's what a recruiter's job is. We are the hiring expert. And as the hiring expert, we want to present the candidates that we feel best represent the solution to the problems that team is having. And the solutions that we present as a hiring expert are qualified candidates. It's human nature. Who wants to put their name on something that's not their best work or is not going to make them look good? So, as I'm speaking with a candidate, I am secretly rooting for them on the inside. Please be the answers to our problems. Please be a top tier candidate. Please be able to clearly articulate your value by the solutions to the problems that you've solved in the past. You don't have to be perfect, but just like if you were asked to source diamonds, you were given criteria around carat or clarity. Same goes for skill set and accomplishments, wins, creativity. The criteria is different between a diamond and a person, obviously, but the process is the same. The recruiter is trying to help solve a problem for the team that they are supporting. The fourth thing that recruiters are asking are, does this candidate have experience that will allow them to be successful within the scope and scale of work at my employer? Now, that doesn't always mean that a bigger employer is better, because small startups where someone has to wear many hats might not find someone from a very, very large company where the depth of work is significant, but the breadth of work is limited. At small companies or startups, the breadth of work is significant, but the depth of work may not be as much. We're just looking for someone whose experience would translate well to the new experience. It's also worth noting here that we are not looking for perfection. Like I said, recruiters, we are rooting for you. We want this to work out. We want you to be someone that we put on our short list, and ultimately, we want to get someone hired. So we're not looking for perfection, but we are looking for someone who's teachable, coachable, has room for growth, and has an interest in being there. We are looking for someone who can clearly articulate their previous successes as it aligns to that potential new job that they would be hired into. So, what are the takeaways after peeking behind the recruiter curtain today? The first is, the recruiter is not your adversary, I promise you. We are not looking for reasons to say no. In fact, the opposite is true. We so badly want to say yes. But in order for us to do that, candidates must show up prepared, on time, and answer the questions that are actually being asked. Candidates must be able to clearly articulate the value that they bring through their previous accomplishments at their previous employers, especially those that would most clearly align to this potential new job that they would be doing with our employer. We are rooting for you, and we will go to bat for candidates that we know are the solution to our hiring managers' problems. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please give my channel a follow or send this to someone who's currently interviewing for work and you think that this would help them out. I post videos 2 times a week, so please subscribe to my channel and I will see you next time. Happy job hunting. Bye bye.